It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond. Happy Easter and happy April Fool's Day. I thought it was April Fool's Day Friday when the Tigers had a victory and it was snatched away on an overturn from New York. Time to meet our team 236. Tom Crawford, my longtime radio partner, Bluebelly Tom. He is the co-host of The Drive with Jack and Tom on the Team 92.1 FM. You're home for We Are There Sports Radio, and we know where your heart is going to be. Tomorrow night.
The question will be, predicting with my heart or my head? I'm still trying to figure that out as far as what's going to happen. But a great win for Michigan, resilient victory, and get them into final game. 66 teams wish they were Michigan and Villanova, so that's a pretty good accomplishment right now.
Absolutely. We're going to talk a lot about that game, as you might imagine, and the games that led up to it. We're also going to talk about some spring football, and we got just the guy to do that. Darian Harris, 5-year MSU linebacker, co-captain of the 2015 Big Ten champions, graduate student, aspiring broadcaster, youth coach, and a member of the Ottawa Red Blacks. And you're calling the game again, the spring game for BTN.
Absolutely. Definitely looking forward to doing that again for the second year in a row. We'll have Lisa Byington on play-by-play, so really looking forward to working with her. She's done such a great job on sideline throughout this NCAA tournament. Michelle McMahon, again, will be on sideline for MSU spring game. So that'll be pretty exciting. Late game, pushing it back to the evening time and moving it up and towards the beginning of April with it being next weekend. But hopefully it's not too chilly out there. But I'll be pretty warm in the press box. So
that's all that matters,
to me
right?
Too much.
Who cares?
The broadcast deck is open. And we sit there behind the glass. It can be 2 degrees. We don't care. We just look out at the people leaving and say, why are they leaving? Don't quite understand. Also want to welcome Graham Couch, sports columnist for the Lansing State Journal, and he comes to us fully clothed today, which was very much in doubt Friday afternoon because you said that if the Tigers came back and won that game, they were down 4 at the time, you would appear tonight shirtless.
I think I would have gone sports coat, press pass, shirtless.
Oh,
so consider
on.
yourself spared. Yeah, it was one of those things I thought was a sure thing, and then I was really happy to see the call overturned. No question.
You were so lucky.
Yeah.
We're all lucky.
I can hear Judd Heathcote right now. Well, that's visual pollution. But we don't have to worry about that. We're just going to have a lot of fun tonight talking about basketball, football, baseball. Opening day here and gone, and Tigers still don't have a victory. We'll be right back with much more coming up on Press Pass here on Fox 47.
June 13th.
Oh, there's a mouse in here.
The clock starts ticking.
Ladies and gentlemen, forks down. The restaurant is closed. I've only got 24 hours to turn this business around.
These restaurants are on the brink.
Don't say I gave up! Your kitchen's a war zone. I'm about to lose it all.
Can Gordon save them?
Look at that. Do you want my help?
Yes, I do.
We're going to put this thing back on the map.
24 Hours to Hell and Back premieres June 13th on Fox.
Everything changes tonight.
How's that wine and coffee combination treating you?
My heart is beating really fast, but time is moving really slow.
High five! Remember this?
Looks just like us.
Like that.
Talk about those skin tones.
It's over now.
No.
The final season of New Girl.
No.
April 10th on Fox.
Go Green!
Don's Fleet Services on Eaton Rapids Road has been serving the Lansing area for over 20 years. Call Don's for all of your automotive needs, from regular maintenance to full repairs.
Don's Fleet Services. Go Green!
They live among us, but they say they can do extraordinary things, like defy gravity. And when they strike, thunder echoes out for miles. The supernatural have returned. Baseball is back on Fox.
Catch an all-new episode of Lucifer, Monday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Greg.
Welcome to Delicious.
At Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graff used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at graffokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago. Doug Warren and I took a Dean luxury cruiser to Chicago, joined 27 pro football greats and more than 100 supporters of the Shinsky Orphanage in Matamoros, Mexico, not far from landfall for Hurricane Harvey.
Omari and Eric, their ability to get out on the perimeter and shoot threes is really valuable for us. And yet they still can bang inside with an Azubuike and rebound with them. That's the key. If you can get out and shoot, but you can't bang and rebound, it doesn't help. I didn't think it would be this good. I didn't know what Colin Gillespie would do. I didn't know what Omari would do. I didn't know what Eric would do this year. Eric started off the year shooting like 7%, you know, but kept working on it. And we knew he was a good shooter. We were definitely playing our best basketball at this time.
Villanova coach Jay Wright with Andy Katz. After Villanova set the NCAA record for the most three-pointers in a year and in the Final Four game. Graham Couch, have you ever seen a better long-range shooting exhibition in a football stadium than Villanova's nuking of a very ill-advised Kansas zone defense?
Yeah, no, and I don't think I've seen Steph Curry in Detroit, you know, in that regional, but certainly in a game this important in the Final Four. And what's scary about Villanova is they can win so many ways. Yeah. And when they shoot like that, you have almost no shot. The good news for Michigan is it's hard to shoot like that 2 nights in a row or 2 games in a row, and you'd much rather see it on Saturday than you would on Monday.
Tom, it shows that all zones are not created equal.
Yeah.
Jim Boeheim just said, I'm switching to man-to-man.
Yeah, he might. I'll tell you what, and they didn't get to the free throw line because they're so far out. They're shooting perimeter. But Michigan will, indeed, Graham, I mean, they're going to man up on them and do a lot of switching, and it's going to be a different approach. And Michigan's very good at the perimeter defense. And I'm hoping for that idea that you can't have those kind of shooting days.
Well, I've seen Villanova miss a lot this season, so it's not like they're always just the problem is Jalen Brunson plays at his pace.
Yeah. He does.
And he is a surgeon, and they will play their game. They can win a lot of different ways too, and they can play
Bridges and Brunson, 2 incredible players, but you got 6 guys who average double figures. That's a freaky stat right there.
Darien, Kansas won a lot of games, won the Big 12 yet again, and today people are saying, Bill Self, Hall of Fame, my butt, that guy can't coach. What was he doing?
I don't know. I mean, you got to get out of that zone, obviously, and I think that's how and why the Kansas faithful get so frustrated with Bill Self. I mean, obviously, year in and year out, he has one of the best teams in the country. He's proven himself to be a really good coach. I mean, you don't see the success that you've seen from Bill Self. You don't win the Big 12, 12, 13, 14 times in a row without having good teams, being a good recruiter. But it's just situations like this. And I thought Villanova was a better team, but my reason for picking Villanova to win that game, they were the only Final Four team I got right, I think, was the fact that I don't trust Kansas in these situations. I almost didn't trust them in the regular season, and I definitely don't trust them in these situations, and here's why.
Well, you talk about Bill Self. Now think about if John Calipari and Derrick Rose and those guys don't screw up that game for Memphis in 2008,
exactly.
His whole legacy is blowing these situations.
He might not even be there right now without that one.
Yeah.
Tom, I can still hear Fred Heumann saying, don't shoot threes. Why are you shooting threes? Have you ever seen a team have 17 made threes before it attempted a free throw?
No, and that's just, like I said, that's being out there in perimeter. No one's touching you. But, I mean, You know, Michigan's going to have to do some of that similar attack if they're going to compete with Villanova. In fact, I had a metric that was coming in my mind today doing my research on this game tomorrow night. I think Michigan's going to have to hit like at least 12 threes to be able to compete with that, because you know Nova's got so much arsenal, and you can't just, a different guy can nail you. It's not just Brunson and Bridges. So it's going to be a huge task for the Wolverines tomorrow night.
Michigan brings out its Texas A&M offense.
Yeah.
This could be a really exciting championship game.
I think it's going to be high scoring.
And we've got an 8 o'clock start for the broadcast.
Yes.
But the actual tip is 9:20 on TBS. And Jim Nance, Grant Hill, Bill Raftery, if he gets new glasses in time.
That was funny.
And Tracy Wolfson will be the broadcast team. There you see the graphic for the matchup. Darian, is Villanova the best team in college basketball, and should it be a 6.5-point favorite to win?
They are the best team. 6.5, that's a lot, especially in a championship game. It is a lot. I'm not sure if they should be a 6.5-point favorite. I mean, Michigan's a very good team, as they've showed. They weathered the storm against Loyola, who's another very good team. I mean, I think it's just time that we get to the point where once we get to the tournament, we realize every team is good. Every team is very good. Yeah. You know, Graham has been, tweeting and trying to get people to understand just how good of a team Loyola is. Right. Yeah, they were the Cinderella, but that's a heck of a team. And had they been able to pull that game off, I think they would have been able to give Villanova some go as well. So 6.5 is a lot. I think we're into a compelling final game, maybe a 3-point game, hopefully a 3-point game. That's what everybody wants to see, especially their championship game.
Will we look at Villanova completely differently if it gets its second NCAA title in 3 years?
You start to put them, you elevate
it's
them.
It's a blue blood in my mind.
It becomes a different program.
Yeah, it falls into that Kansas-Kentucky.
Yeah, you certainly elevate it. It becomes one of the truly elites, absolutely.
Yeah.
We will be back in just a minute, and we're going to look at the Michigan Wolverines rallying from 10 down in the second half to beat Loyola Chicago. We'll find out how that happened and what's in store Monday night, coming up on Press Pass.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we have a taste for adventure, because the only way to know how good something can be is to go for it. Try our veggie smoothies, Island Green, made with spinach, kale, pineapple, banana, and mango, and Caribbean Sea Burst with carrots, mango, banana, orange, and goji. Adventure begins with never knowing until you try, but always expecting something great. Go for a veggie smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 47.
With the David Chapman Agency, auto owners' insurance policies come with something extra. Local agents who care about you. Our agents will help you find the right coverage at the best price. 3 generations serving you at the David Chapman Agency, your local auto owners' insurance agents.
Tell me how the day unfolds. Traffic fast or traffic slow. This feeling is so fine, I gotta say. You're just a touch away. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I go, whoa, go. Everywhere I go, whoa, whoa. Everywhere I go.
Hey, if you want to horse around and have a lot of fun and save money, Sundance Chevrolet, come on over and see us.
Each week, the Michigan Lottery selects a public school educator to receive an Excellence in Education Award. Watch Fox 47 News at 5:30 on Tuesday to see this week's winner.
Weenan outside, top of the key. It is his night.
it's also the ability to draw attention with the bounce. The Canisius knew he was hired. And Baleen. Well, they're really taking over now. I think fatigue's a factor. What a fantastic run it was, but it's Michigan taking the semifinal game 69-57. The maize and blue is all set for a Monday night appearance.
Tom Crawford, let's start with what happened against Loyola. In San Antonio, how did the Wolverines rally from 10 down in the second half? And how concerned were you when they were behind an 11 seed? By far the longest an 11 seed has ever led in a Final Four game.
I'm concerned till it's 0:00. That's how you know me, Jack, so long. I'll tell you what, they were down 10 with 14 to go. And they started turning but they forced basically Loyola to start turning the ball over. I mean, they went from 7 turnovers to 17 turnovers. I thought Loyola did. And I think that was key. And Mo Wagner just kept them in the game in that first half with offensive rebounds. And then Jerron Simmons, who came off, and Xavier got the second foul. He came in and delivered some really key minutes, I thought. And he had a big three to cut it down to 6 with about 11 to go. And you could just see the momentum.
You could feel the game.
Right. You could feel, and finally Michigan started to get some rhythm to their offense. Prior to that, it was really clunky for them offensively.
Darian, over the years, and especially under John Beilein, we have seen some very good offenses. We've seen some teams that on the right day could hang with or beat anybody. But this defense changes what Michigan basketball is.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we saw, especially in the second half. I mean, we knew they were going to make a run. Bill Rafferty and Grant Hill made a point of that Loyola usually gives up that second half run. They're just usually able to weather it. But Michigan put the clamps on them in the second half. They as Tom said, they brought their turnover count from 7 to 17. And Loyola was known for playing at their own speed, at their own pace, and they kind of got out of sorts and discombobulated in the second half. And that's what Michigan's going to have to do with Villanova, switch everything. Play really strong man-to-man defense. Obviously, we saw that zone's not going to work in any stretch of the imagination, and you're just going to have to hope that Villanova doesn't have the same type of shooting now that they had against Kansas.
Graham, when Loyola was up 10, did you think maybe, just maybe?
Yeah, but not up 5. It was interesting. By the time it got to 5, I was pretty confident. You just watched the flow of the game, and you could see how Michigan was the better team on the floor. But there was a period where I thought Michigan was going to play a really ugly game, and Loyola was going to get out of there and escape with it. Yeah.
Darian, Mo Wagner could not be stopped. As our #1 NBA fan and follower, can you see how he is a much better prospect than he was a year ago when he tested the waters and then came back?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that speaks to the rules that allow these players to go do that, to test the waters, not hire an agent and come back. He was able to see that he wasn't ready yet. He needed another year to develop and get better, and he was able to do that this year. I mean, 24-15 in a Final Four game, that's magnificent.
That means you're ready, right?
Exactly. That means you're ready to roll. If he is a legitimate 6'11", which I believe he is, he's that prototypical stretch 4 for the NBA, and he's going to transition well. I mean, he's pretty much solidified himself, especially with that performance and a big performance tomorrow as probably a top 15 pick, honestly.
Graham, it's a zero-sum game. You win or you lose. And if the Wolverines win tomorrow night, will anyone care that they only beat one team higher than a 6 seed? And if they lose, will they be just another one of the 14 Big Ten teams that's gotten to the Final Four and not gotten a championship since Michigan State in 2000?
Well, to be clear, you win, lose, or you cover. There are 3 things you can do. But certainly, no, absolutely, no, I don't think you do. Look, you don't think about the injury that allowed, the Cincinnati star back that allowed Michigan State to have the overall #1 seed, or to have the path it had in the Midwest, and to play at the Palace against
But it gets
Iowa
brought up
State.
a lot these days.
It does, but nobody takes away anything on that championship. Nobody says, they didn't really win a championship. Sure, there's some competitive banter, and Michigan State fans will bring that up to Michigan fans. You win a national championship?
Yeah.
You win a national championship. And the other thing is, we don't actually know how these teams ought to be seeded. We see with the selection committee every year how inept they are in their evaluation process. So just because a team's a 6 doesn't mean they weren't better than the 3. We just don't actually know what we're looking at. Look, I always say it, but the year Butler gets there in 2010, Butler had more pros that are still in the NBA now in its lineup than anybody they played along the way.
And these are one-game knockouts. These aren't best of 7. So any upset that occurs.
Texas A&M beats North Carolina by 21 points, maybe they're a good team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
they were number 3 in the country at one point.
Or maybe North Carolina had a bad day. That can happen, right?
Fan bases trying to bring, it's that bantering thing.
And
like
North Carolina wasn't that good. I understand Michigan wasn't very good when they played North Carolina. North Carolina was going to take it out on somebody that night. Yeah. But Michigan very well. I think Michigan was a better team than North Carolina by the end of the season. So that might have been a game they won anyway.
What about the Big Ten, Darian? 14 times now since Michigan State in 2000. They've sent a team to the Final Four, and they have not got the Nets.
It's hard to win. It's hard to win a national title. I mean, that just says it right there. And for Villanova to have a chance to win 2 in the last 3 years, as we've said, that would put them up there in an elite category. But Michigan obviously has a chance to bring one back to the Big Ten.
Hey, when you buy Maryland, you get their national title. So it's 2002,
okay,
right?
So they're going to take that.
That's the part
Jim
of the
Delaney
deal.
is claiming it right now. Congratulations to the Wolverines. We'll be right back talking Michigan State basketball next.
Go Green!
Don's Fleet Services on Eaton Rapids Road has been serving the Lansing area for over 20 years. Call Don's for all of your automotive needs, from regular maintenance to full repairs.
Don's Fleet Services.
Go Green!
We are the selling team.
We are here when you need us.
We work harder for you.
We follow up.
We get your home sold.
We are the selling team with Keller Williams Realty. Beyond real estate, real family.
Numbers fill our lives. They connect us to people,
Full fitness. Come on, let's go.
to places,
241 Main. Remember, 241.
even our past.
Nothing beats my 350.
And then some connect right to us.
Girl, it's gonna be a good day.
Michigan Lottery Daily 3 and 4 games.
What's your number?
Straight back bonuses here. Match your Daily 3 or Daily 4 straight bet in reverse and win for a limited time only.
Everything you thought you knew about medicine is wrong. The Resident, all new Monday on Fox.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else: peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
The Knapp Center is a historical hub for future business growth in beautiful downtown Lansing.
The Ide Company did the best they could to preserve the integrity of the history of this building while incorporating a modern open workspace.
They have been prompt, they have been efficient, and they really are a friendly, great group of people that we don't have any concerns about calling them for any of our needs.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the Ide Company family.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet, a trusted friend with 104 years in the automobile business. Stop and see Matt, Mark, and Greg on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you, as they have on all 6 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf. There you see a graphic of teams in the 21st century since Michigan State cut the nets down. That year, Michigan State and North Carolina, the most Final Four appearances with 6. Kansas 5, Connecticut and Duke, they made the most of their appearances, along with Florida and Kentucky, all with 4, Wisconsin, Syracuse, UCLA, and Villanova, each with 3, and 24 other teams have been there twice, including Michigan. 5 other teams have been there, and 19 others have been there 1 time. Darian, when you think about that, and Michigan State, North Carolina, they were a 3 seed and a 2 seed, the only schools with 6 appearances. What does that say about programs, maybe more than teams?
Well, it shows that there's a lot of good programs out there, I think. I mean, you look at the teams that have been there twice. You think about Villanova now, Butler, as well as teams that have been there twice in the 21st century, and then the rest of the teams, that have
Villanova
been
actually
there
has
once.
3 because it was there in 2009 with Michigan State.
3, exactly. So you think about all these great programs out there, and you look at what NCAA football, what they're trying to do with the playoffs and getting more teams to have an opportunity to play for national titles. And you see what Central Florida did last year, trying to claim a national title as an undefeated team. It's the reason why the tournament is so great. It's the reason why we have March Madness, because it gives teams like Loyola and George Mason and Florida Gulf Coast, they didn't make a Final Four. They made a push, to the Sweet 16 a few years ago. It gives teams like that who win a lot of games, win 30 games in the season, an opportunity to play for national titles. So it shows that, making 6 in the last, 18, 19 years, that's the most. I mean, it shows how hard it is. Whereas with football, they're trying to get to that point, but you still see Alabama in it every year and the same type of teams in it every year. Whereas with basketball, you're going to get a multitude of different teams every single year.
Graham, if you back up one more year and make it a 20-year measure from 99 through 2018, Michigan State was also there in 99, so it would have the most with 7. What does that say?
Well, I think it's been an incredibly consistent program. One of the things when Keith Appling and that 2013-14 team with Adrian Payne as a senior class, when they didn't get it, that was the first group of seniors Izzo had that hadn't been to a Final Four, which is a pretty remarkable feat. It's the consistency over time. And obviously it started with a great run with the Flintstones, but to get back there with different groups says what you do works.
Tom, they're on the clock again because it was 2015. So for their senior class, that would be 2019, right?
To Graham's point about that Michigan State team with Adrian Payne, that team, if it had gotten to the Final Four, I think they would have won it. Yeah. It's hard to get to that next weekend, and it's hard to get out of the first weekend. So, that was a heck of a team.
Graham, you gave a thorough analysis of Michigan State's roster looking ahead, and the big man, Miles Bridges, obviously is committed to go to the NBA next year. Ben Carter is already in Jerusalem, signed a contract. What about Jaren Jackson Jr. and Nick Ward? What are the chances that they will be back? And what does it mean for the Spartans if they're both back or if they're both gone?
Well, I think Michigan State really needs one of them. Otherwise, they're going to have to be on the grad transfer market because behind Xavier Tillman, it gets a little thin. And even though I think Tillman's become a really fantastic player, I naturally think Jaren Jackson Jr. is going because he's a top 5 pick. But when you talk to people who are near him or at least seem to have some knowledge of him, they think it's, hold on here. Maybe a little more of a Gary Harris situation where you've got parents who know him well, who don't need the money, so I think I still think it's less than 50-50 he comes back, right. But it might be in that realm.
Nick Ward?
What's that?
Nick Ward?
Yeah, harder to tell because Nick Ward's Nick Ward, right? If Nick Ward is a kid, unpredictable. He wants to be a pro. He wanted to be a pro last year. So he's going to be looking for somebody to tell him, you're going to be a pro. We've talked about this before. If you're looking to hear that, right. It just takes one. That said, Nigel Hayes was looking for that a couple years ago, didn't hear it, came back. So I think Nick Ward is the one. The other two guys, Miles Bridges, Jaren Jackson, they can't lose. Nick Ward can lose if he makes the wrong decision.
Tom Brendan Quinn on our show last week on the Drive with Jack and Tom said that those guys will both be gone, along with Mo Wagner, Charles Matthews. Will they be gone? Should they be gone?
Mo should be gone. I think Charles Matthews will test it like Nick Ward, probably not hire an agent and see where
You'd like to see those guys come back.
I'd love to, but hey, what's best for them is all that matters, Jack.
We will be back in just a minute, our Spartan Sparring segment. We're going to talk about MSU football spring game coming up next.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
June 13th.
There's a mouse in here.
These restaurants are on the brink.
I've got 24 hours to turn this around.
Can Gordon save them?
Don't say I gave up! We're going to put this thing back on the map.
24 Hours to Hell and Back premieres June 13th on Fox.
Overdue for laughs? Mom. 6:30 on Fox 47.
From business to farms, Hastings Mutual will protect your best assets.
I can't find Lucius. Is this the play? I will slit her throat.
No! Empire returns March 28th on Fox.
Watch Fox 47 each Monday for tips on a new you, where we focus on self-improvement. This coming New You Monday is brought to you by Medical Weight Loss Clinic.
Hey Mid-Michigan, it's time to cast your votes for the annual City Pulse Fox 47 News Top of the Town Awards. Bars, burgers, bands, and more. Vote for your favorites in over 100 categories. Go to fox47news.com and lansingcitypulse.com today.
I see a lot of progression, a lot of guys gelling together, especially with just the defense side and the offense side. The defense, they gelling together, and they have more freshmen going into the defense, and them guys looking great.
Just play fast, aggressive, and physical. You know, that's the goal we always, we talk about as a team, period, for defense. So that's all we're doing, really.
Older guys have taken a big role in trying to lead the younger guys, and like in film room especially, bringing them in, hey, come watch film with me. We got former players like Jarrell coming helping the D-line, Trent Robinson, other former players coming in helping us as well. So it's all been a great help and learning experience for everybody.
Welcome back to Press Pass. There you see Darryl Stewart Jr., Keelan Gervin, and Justice Alexander. Darian Harris, you're going to be up in the booth calling the game for BTN Saturday. What do you expect to see other than a lot of people in the stands in winter coats?
Well, I'm definitely expecting it to be a little chilly. I mean, it's April 1st today, and it was like 20 degrees today. So I don't think it's going to warm up to 70 by next week. But I'm expecting a fun game. I'm expecting a fun game, a fast game, as physical as we can possibly get for a spring game. Not sure how much of Brian Lewerke we'll see, but it'll be interesting to let the two quarterbacks, vying for that backup position go at it. Probably, see both, Rocky Lombardi, maybe Theo Day playing, one on the green, one on the white. So see them go at it and get a full game, which would be good to see. And obviously, it's important to see the young guys, see what they do, see how they gel, and then see the old vets coming back. But as we saw last year, sometimes it's a little bit of a prerequisite to the season where we saw how well Kenny Willekes did. Sometimes it's not, where we see how well Tristan Jackson did last year in the game, and then it didn't translate to the season. So it's not, you can't always take everything from the spring game and say this is exactly what it's going to be in a regular season, but it is a good, it's a good opportunity, obviously, for everybody to see the team.
You mentioned Brian Lewerke. Should he get some snaps? Should he be wearing a flag like you'd grab and snap off in some kind of football? What about L.J. Scott and Joe Bacci? How much might we see them?
Probably not too much. Probably not too much, honestly. I mean, these are guys that are solidified. We're talking about, Nick Ward and Jaren Jackson Jr. LJ obviously had an opportunity last year to go, and he probably would have if the NCAA rules allowed for football players to go test the waters. He probably would have done that. But we're talking about two players that, are established. We know they're going to be the bell cows in their room. So it's about seeing who's up next, and especially at running back, a guy like Connor Hayward stepping into that role as the backup running back. We need to see a lot of him, I think, on Saturday.
Who are you anxious to see, Graham?
Well, Hayward's a good one, right? Because they're really thin, and they got kids coming in. But
Mark Antonio loves him.
Yeah, and that's a position where you can play young and you can succeed young. The hard thing in a spring game is when you mix up the offensive line, you have zero continuity there, and you really don't get a sense of what the push is, because that really, I think the most important thing for Michigan State next year is that young offensive line, the step it takes, and I don't think you get that on a spring game. But there are lots of, there were a lot of receivers that were just beneath that playing group. Yeah. That I want to see. Does a guy like Cam Chambers finally, do you see a guy like that finally take a step? And there's some potential and room for those guys right now.
There'll be reps, there'll be targets for those guys. Tom, we're going to get Michigan's spring game 1 week later. Right. Talk about the offensive line. What's the major area of concern for Michigan State?
Well, I think the personnel's there. I think the expectations are high. It's keeping that chip on the shoulder. I mean, can they do that? Michigan State is notoriously good when they're disrespected. Now they're being respected. I'm seeing Michigan State in top 10 rankings. How do they handle that? That's been a test for that program over decades.
Graham, after the 3-9 season in 2016, how important was that bounce back to double-digit wins with an 8th victory in 10 tries against Michigan and a 5th bowl triumph in the last 6?
I mean, it was everything. I mean, if you think about how we were viewing this program and the talk of when Mark D'Antonio's tenure
even after the Notre Dame game last year, I heard people saying, the glory, it's gone, it's gone.
No, that was one of the great bounce backs I've ever seen, and it was really important, not just for, I mean, for the school, for the athletic. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on at MSU right now, and to have a football program that's stabilized or seemed to stabilize some of its issues, at least on the field and culturally in that locker room and all that stuff, I think was really, really, really important.
Tom, what should Michigan State fear the most? You talked about the chip. The schedule, we saw last year's schedule, but looking ahead, taking a look at this 2018 lineup, can you rank maybe the 5 most likely losses for Michigan State?
Well, I'll tell you one right off the bat. That's October 20th.
That's your number one guaranteed loss, right?
And all due respect to the former player sitting next to me, yeah. And then after that, it would be Ohio State, obviously, at home. And then I would go maybe at Penn State.
I put at Penn State number 1 on that.
No, and then Indiana, watch out for Tom. Tom Allen is turning that program around, and that's at Indiana. Indiana typically plays well against Michigan State.
What about at Arizona State? Herm Edwards, right?
I see Michigan State winning that game.
Darian, just have you remember that Tom Crawford said 1 year ago that Mark D'Antonio would never beat Jim Harbaugh again. Didn't matter if he lived to 125. Didn't quite work out that way, but we will be back in just a minute, and baseball is upon us. Opening day, even if it had to be delayed a little bit. Tigers just haven't found out that they need to start winning these games yet. We'll be back. We'll be looking at all that and more coming up on Press Pass.
It's virtually the greatest challenge ever. It's the Big Bang Ready Player One sweepstakes. You could win the grand prize of a hometown screening for you and 100 friends, plus a fully immersive 5 VR system and computer, or $1,000 a day. All this week, watch for the key of the day. Text it to 46373 or go to BigBangWeeknights.com to enter. Go, 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 go! It's the Big Bang Ready Player One sweepstakes.
Weeknights at 7 and 7:30 on Fox 47.
He was raised in a good home, good schools, played sports. Did you ever think you would have a child who was addicted to heroin?
A woman chained to a bed literally is a scene from a horror movie.
What did he do to you?
He sold me for sex.
At 15. You took part in a hit and then went to the victim's funeral.
I did.
You can't make that up.
Weekdays at 2 on Fox 47.
Lethal Weapon, all new Tuesday at 8/7 Central on Fox.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
The Student Bookstore is your green and white shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
At Graf Chevrolet in Okemos, you'll always get a great deal on a huge selection of high-quality used cars and trucks. But you'll also get something else, peace of mind. Every Graf used vehicle purchase comes with up to 6 oil changes for the first 2 years of ownership. We'll also give you free tire rotation with every other oil change. Always a great selection of used vehicles starting from $1,000 and up. Check them out at grafokemos.com. Lower your cost of ownership with our Peace of Mind program, only at Graf Chevrolet in Okemos.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment. Brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. I'm talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week.
Line to left field and a base hit. Castellanos going to try and score. Go to the plate. Tie. Winner scoring Castellanos. Use an automatic review if you're the. They called it.
Unbelievable. First of all, the review took 4 minutes. Doesn't seem like it's conclusive to me if it takes 4 minutes to figure it out. But that was a replay. Tom Crawford, Friday, we were watching. The Tigers had celebrated. The Pirates had gone off the field. They were headed to the showers. They knew what was going to happen, and New York offices said, nah, let's bring them back and play some more baseball. How disappointed were you?
Well, I was incredibly disappointed because I thought that Press Pass All-Stars with Jack Ebling, the ratings would be, I mean, it would go viral. I mean, in a negative way, but we'd be, I mean, Graham being in here, bare-chested, my God, we would be in the Today Show tomorrow. I'm really thinking that. And we need, you know, everybody needs ratings.
Ratings in certain demographics would be way up and others would be way down.
Was I disappointed the Tigers aren't going to go undefeated? No, no. I was disappointed because you couldn't showcase that chiseled six-pack of yours.
I was disappointed too.
If we had said it was going to be Darian shirtless,
that would have worked,
right?
but you know that
didn't quite happen.
No,
but that was a game. You know, you got opening day. It's delayed. Great comeback.
Oh yeah.
Amazing things happen, but the Tigers have shown an ability to get 7 doubles, 23 base runners, and lose, or be no hit for 6 innings and lose 1-0. They've shown they can do it a lot of different
Michael
ways.
Fulmer wasting that 4-hitter that he threw. I mean, that's a waste. I mean, you know, they'll never get that one back. And so
here's where I don't see it as a waste, though. I think with Fulmer, you want to trade him at the deadline this year and get a lot for him. I think you want him to have a spectacular first half of the year and raise his value. Whether you win or lose when he pitches, it's all about how he pitches. Because you're not going to be good. You might be good while he was still there, but ultimately
that's the Lynn Henning philosophy. Get rid of him now.
Oh, he's always
his stock will never be higher.
Darian, what is it about opening day in Major League Baseball? People have to be there for that. They don't care about game 2. You can go and choose your section for game 2. But you see guys, Giancarlo Stanton, who's a fantastic power hitter anyway. I mean, he's clubbing these things. Looks like he's going to hit 80. And Matt Davidson proves that he's not just a former wideout for Nebraska. It's 3 home runs, just the 4th player ever to do that on opening day as a White Sox.
Yeah, I mean, opening day has a little bit of, you know, American pastime, American kind of holiday feel to it. So I think it gets everybody excited. It's going to get the players naturally excited because the stadiums are all going to be packed. I mean, everybody's going to opening day. People are skipping class and all these other things to make it to opening day usually. So it's always fun to see that, and you want excitement on opening day. You know, everybody's obviously excited about the Stanton, Aaron Judge power hitting combination in New York, and it's in New York. I mean, the first pitch of the season was a home run in the Cubs game. So that's what you want to see in opening day. But as you said, I mean, game 2, you know, game 40, game 37. I mean, and you can say anywhere. I mean, you know, you can pay $3 and be right behind the dugout pretty much.
And I think the reality is we're all waiting for summer at this point, right?
Yeah.
And so baseball means summer, but then you get out there and you realize it's 37, so game 2 doesn't.
Well, that's not fun. You're freezing to death.
And starting earlier and earlier. This was going to be just the 2nd time in Major League history that every team had started on the same day. Didn't work that way because of the weather postponements. The only other time was in 1968, and they'd had games pushed back because of the assassination of Martin Luther King.
That's right.
So that's, you know, everybody was going to go on Thursday, and then it didn't quite happen that way. Graham, you said you didn't want the Tigers to tease us this year. Why would a 75-win season for the Tigers maybe be worse than a 60-win season?
Because what I don't want is people in July and August hoping, because this team is going to break your heart then. They're not that good. And the bottom line is you've got to make this rebuild happen, right? And the more things that are covered up by a season that somebody having a career year or something going wrong that's not real, the longer that takes. We need to see this for real. We need to see what's there.
But if they have a great start, and you see Candelario and Machado and those guys come through, then Tom, isn't that hope for the future?
Well, yeah, and yeah, it's hope, all right. But when you're hearing about 3 to 5 years and then they'll be competitive again, I mean, as a kind of a passive baseball fan, that's too long. I want more immediacy than that.
Especially in a non-salary cap sport, it's unacceptable.
Exactly.
You choose if you want to be great.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that. You just got to get a little bit further. You develop to a 500 point. You can buy to 95 wins.
You know, you can blame for this the Houston Astros, because the Cubs did it.
Right.
And the Astros came out, and to the point that Sports Illustrated was mocked.
The White Sox might be next.
The Royals have done this.
The White Sox are going to do it.
The Twins have done this.
And they say that's the way.
Right.
You got to go to the bottom, and then you build and build, and you just have to plead for patience, and eventually you got something there. Maybe something that can sustain for the long haul. We'll be back with our Take It to the Bank segment. All of our guarantees and predictions about tomorrow night in San Antonio. Up next.
I've lost 2 homes in my lifetime. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
Holton Dimedale Insurance Agency, your hometown team. Come see us today.
Turn on the lights with Capital Lighting. Experience our full-service lighting showroom. Discover the hundreds of beautiful fixtures available to bring your home to life. Visit today at Capital Lighting of East Lansing, where bright ideas begin.
Hey Mid-Michigan, it's time to cast your votes for the annual City Pulse Fox 47 News Hop of the Town Awards. Bars, burgers, bands, and more. Vote for your favorites in over 100 categories. Go to fox47news.com and lansingcitypulse.com today.
I came for blood, your days are done. I came to win, you came to run. It's all enough. I paid enough, I waited up. I made you rough, I'm dangerous. All enough.
Prime Watch Daily.
Weekdays at 2 on Fox 47.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell.
Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Working with the IDE company, 1, is very easy to do. 2, they're very responsive to our needs. And 3, as we've grown as a company, they've listened to those needs and they've helped us plan out our future in terms of growth that needs to be done at this location.
It's just comforting to know I'm working with the IDE company, knowing that they can accommodate our growth. In that way, they're an excellent partner.
Opportunities for retail, office, restaurant, and residential. Build the future as a member of the IDE company family.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Braccio, psychologist. If you or your child have problems with focus, inattention, sitting still, memory, concentration, these are traits of ADHD. Visit us at drjohnb.com.
Let's go make some music. We stick together and we fight. Your mouth is dry, pick it up.
An all-new Empire, Wednesday at 8 on Fox.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment. Brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton, South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most. There you see a graphic comparison of Michigan and Villanova. The last 2 teams standing. Villanova, 35-4 for the year, but Mo Wagner, Jalen Brunson, probably the marquee players in this game, and that means that somebody we're not talking about will come out and be the hero, but they've got all the variations of one shining moment ready, and they will do the finishing work on that tomorrow after 11 o'clock. All right, Team 236, time for our guarantees and what we can bank on, take to the bank. Tom Crawford, what can we bank on for the Michigan Wolverines in San Antonio tomorrow?
Maybe this is wishful thinking, but I'm into the duck, duck, goose on Michigan shooting. Bad game, good game. Michigan will have 12 threes tomorrow against Villanova. I don't know if it's going to be good enough to win. We'll talk about that later, but I think They're going to hit their threes tomorrow night, and that'll be a big impact. And the game will push this game into the 70s, maybe even low 80s as a final outcome.
Do you like Michigan with 6.5 points?
I do like Michigan with 6.5 points. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I do too. Darian, what can we bank on with the Villanova Wildcats?
I actually like Tom's prediction because it can pair with mine, and then I can take mine a step further, so we can kind of combine it. I'm going to say that we're going to see a combined 23s from both Villanova and Michigan.
Whoa.
Which means that Villanova would have to hit 8 for that to work for Tom's
prediction.
They hit 18.
Yeah.
But they did hit 18.
You might have more than that.
I do see Villanova hitting at least 10, so I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to see at least 23s combined in this championship game, which I think for the common viewer will make it very exciting and very compelling.
If Michigan has more threes than Villanova, does Michigan win the game, Graham?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
It would have to be a substantial difference, I think. The question I have for Michigan is that backcourt, right? Are they going to be as poised as Villanova's backcourt? And that's what I don't really know. We saw yesterday Charles Matthews, Mo Wagner become what they lead on, not the backcourt that had been so good.
Well, I think Charles Matthews is going to cover Brunson. I mean, because he's going to try to physical him up. I think there's going to be some.
Not Xavier Simpson.
Not Xavier Simpson.
Both are. But I don't hate that play. I don't hate it. I don't know if it'll happen, but I don't hate it.
I think Michigan has a legitimate chance to win this game. And Tom, we've said it all year. I think this is the time we finally see it. Villanova is such a good free throw shooting team. I think this game's going to come down to the last minute, and I think Villanova's going to win by 3 points. And I think that free throws are going to make the difference.
Well, every shooter on their team, their top 6 players, it's all over 70%. Michigan barely has 2 guys that are in that 70% category and above. And I've been saying it all along. When they fall out of the tournament, it's going to be because of free throws. God forbid that. I hope it doesn't happen tomorrow night, from my standpoint.
Graham, when it comes to guarantees, what we can take to the bank about this 80th Final Four, we got a 16 over a 1, more upsets than we could have imagined. What will we remember about this tournament?
We're going to remember Loyola, and we're going to remember that more than the 16-1 just because of how big that story became. And what I hope we remember is that Loyola would not have been in the NCAA tournament had they not won their conference tournament. And we start to re-examine our criteria and start to understand our biases are getting in the way and how little we actually know, because this was not the Cinderella we thought it was. We created the Cinderella by misseeding them, by misjudging them. But Loyola is the story. I mean, I think will be the story we remember about this tournament.
They were close, but you know, they're going to fade like VCU. I think they're going to go. Those teams. George Mason was close.
Now, if Michigan wins it and they got a shot, then that changes how we remember this. I think Villanova we remember less than we do Michigan.
We'll be right back with our Cool and Smooth segment. All of our weekly awards coming up next here on Press Pass.
The Student Bookstore is your green and white shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Each week, the Michigan Lottery selects a public school educator to receive an Excellence in Education Award. Watch Fox 47 News at 5:30 on Tuesday to see this week's winner.
June 13th.
There's a mouse in here.
These restaurants are on the brink.
I've got 24 hours to turn this around.
Can Gordon save them?
Don't say I gave up! We're going to put this thing back on the map.
24 Hours to Hell and Back premieres June 13th on Fox.
Cast your votes for the Top of the Town Awards at fox47news.com today.
The New Year's new hit comedy, Boom. LA to Vegas, Tuesday on Fox.
Welcome to Russell and Schrader Insurance. Hastings Mutual is a trusted partner of ours. Call Joe Daly for a Hastings Mutual insurance quote. They are hard to beat. Call Steve Keisch today. From business to farms, Hastings Mutual will protect your best assets.
Are you mom enough?
What are you doing here? Why aren't you banging the old guy?
It's called being a lady.
Mom, 5 nights a week. Weeknights at 6:30 on Fox 47.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for a cool and smooth segment brought to you by the Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious. All right, Team 236, what do we have here? That looks like an eBay ad for Darian Harris.
Anything sells.
Autographed socks? What in the world is going on? You're signing your old equipment now?
Hey, as soon as that eligibility is up, these
dog eat dog world, isn't it?
these memorabilia stores, they come calling for stuff.
Are they clean socks?
They were game worn, but they are clean socks. And hey, they say sign everything, send it to us, we'll write you a check and do whatever with it. So, you know, for what they paid me for some socks, I'm definitely not complaining. You can do whatever after that. But
what do you think you get for your socks, Tom?
Nothing.
Now, if you can tell people that those were the socks you wore when you stopped Ezekiel Elliott, or those were the socks you wore 2015 in Ann Arbor, the value goes
absolutely,
up, right?
Absolutely. I auctioned off my cleats from the Big Ten Championship game in 2015, and then the winner of them ended up that money went to the Sadler Foundation. So those are the types. These are the types of things that these memorabilia stores, Legends in Grand Rapids, places like that, they then donate them usually back to organizations like this. But you might also see stuff on eBay like socks, and those were pro combat socks from the win in 2011 over Michigan. Ironically, so
painful.
Maybe, now, Tom, we'll want
for those.
Burn them,
right?
Burn them.
All right, Darian, what do you have for us with our play of the week?
Play of the week. Graham's actually got play of the week, but I'll go ahead and go game of the week.
Game of the week.
Which really is a play of the week as well, which is Arik Ogunbowale 2 times hitting game-winning shots. I thought I was going to be able to go with the first game with the win over UConn, but get to go with both of them. You beat UConn, you beat the best team, maybe the best team of the century, and then you come back and do it again at the buzzer of the national championship game. She turned down an offer from Gino Auriemma to go to UConn, and he had some pretty questionable things to say about her after that in a tweet that is being deciphered now. And she also got a tweet from Kobe Bryant after the first time she hit the shot over UConn, because she wears 24. Right. Kobe said, channel your mama mentality. She said, my life's complete. Kobe said, it's not complete till you finish the job next game. That's exactly what she was able to do in the championship game. So that's unbelievable. She deserves a statue outside of Notre Dame right next to Touchdown Jesus, I think, because 2 game-winning shots in the Final Four, I mean, that's remarkable.
And Kobe Bryant there, you know, he's a big Connecticut basketball fan. Graham Couch, what about our play of the week?
Play of the week, I think, is obvious, right? It's what kept my shirt on today. It is the New York replay willing to take 4 minutes to make an exception and to get that call right and put the Tigers out of there. No,
what a disgrace.
Yeah, no, but it was interesting, right? Because I did think it broke rules. It was, and what I think is going to be a miserable Tiger season, it got off on the wrong foot. And so, not for the right reasons other than my shirt being on, but I do think it was a consequential play in the way we feel early about this Tigers team.
Tom Crawford, our team of the week is?
Team of the week, I'm going to dovetail off what Graham said about Loyola of Chicago. And it's not because of Sister Jean. I think that was a cute story, but it kind of got a little overkill. Took it away from the players. The players like Clayton Custer, seeing those tears roll down. This is what the NCAA tournament's all about. I hope they're all over the One Shining Moment video. It was a great story. 1,200 fans they were averaging for their home games or whatever, and they're playing in front of 70,000 fans. That's the magic of March.
All right, for our player of the week, Arike Ogunbowale from Notre Dame is such an obvious choice, but I'm going to stretch that a little further and go with Notre Dame coach Muffet McGraw. Muffet McGraw was supposed to be on United Flight 175, by the way, going from Boston to LA and went right into the World Trade Center. She was talked out of that by her assistant coach. Miraculous. Now she has 4 wins and 7 Final Four appearances against Gino Auriemma.
Yeah.
Notre Dame with its 2nd national championship in women's basketball. A chance to get the women's basketball hockey double. Goes against Michigan Thursday night in a semifinal. Want to thank our panel, Tom Crawford. You can hear him. 3 and 6, Darian Harris, Graham Couch, Happy Easter, everyone. Happy April Fool's Day. We'll be back next week. Have a great week.